This is 2024's Trap. Warning, spoilers ahead. Riley sings a song that's playing on the radio until her father, Cooper, decides to drive safely instead of speeding through red lights, and he assures her that they'll arrive at their destination with plenty of time either way. Eventually, they park the car, and Riley rushes them into the arena for a Lady Raven concert. They join a group of fans who are waiting for the singer to leave her tour bus, and afterward they get in line to go into the arena. While they're passing time, Cooper asks about some bullies who have been bothering Riley at school, but she doesn't want to mess up this good time with that kind of talk. Once inside, Cooper notices all of the cops lined up around the arena, but he soon joins Riley with enjoying the festivities. Cooper is definitely out of his element here, but at least he's trying to stay connected to Riley one way or another. He's definitely out of touch with the new lingo and customs. Once they get to their seats, Riley can't believe how close they are to the stage, and Cooper explains that it's all because of her good grades that they're there. After sitting down, Riley is caught up in the singing, but Cooper can't help but notice all of the police bustling around the arena. Finally, the concert starts, and Lady Raven appears on stage. Riley can barely hold in her anticipation, but there's also 30,000 fans that are just as excited as her. Eventually, Cooper has to go to the bathroom, and Riley agrees to stay in her seat while he's gone. Once in the bathroom, Cooper goes on his phone to check something, and it turns out that he has someone trapped in his basement. I know this is an M. Night Shyamalan movie, so we should expect the unexpected, but something feels off about Cooper being the bad guy in this movie. It feels too simple. Cooper seemingly hallucinates an old lady in the men's restroom, but when he comes out, he's found by a real person who knows him, Jody's mom. She hopes that their daughters can be friends again, but Cooper just seems more concerned about getting back to Riley. What no one knows is that 300 cops are surrounding the arena outside, and the entire place is about to go into lockdown. During one of Lady Raven's emotional songs, Cooper notices that cops are pulling out other fathers from the crowd, and after that song, they head to the merch stands to grab a shirt. After making a good impression on the worker, Cooper asks him why all the police are around, and the guy tells him that the concert is a trap for a famous serial killer who is supposed to be there. Little does this guy know that he's talking to the potential killer. Now, Cooper is trying to find a way out, and of course, the best way to do this is to make a distraction. Pushing a guest down the stairs should definitely accomplish that. After realizing that there's no way out through the cops, Cooper takes Riley back to their seats just in time to see a guest singer appear out of the floor next to them. Cooper tries to convince Riley to go down the hole, but she thinks that he's acting strange. With that option out of the way, Cooper heads back to the merch stand to check on a t-shirt for Riley, and he follows the worker to the backstage area. While Cooper helps the employee, he snatches a key card out of his back pocket, and he even manages to get his secret code while he's being all buddy-buddy with him. After getting Riley's t-shirt, Cooper uses the key card to get into an employee-only area, and he listens in on a pep talk the cops are giving. This guy is next level smooth. He's literally marching through all of these cops and snatching a walkie-talkie on his way out. How do you do that with this many officers walking around? After Cooper joins the crowd in the public area, Jody's mother stops him again, but she's anything but calm this time around. Luckily for Cooper, some man being arrested causes a commotion, and the woman has to turn her attention toward what's happening to the man. Cooper manages to make it back to Riley, but he's listening in on the radio police. They know that the man they arrested isn't really their culprit, and Cooper takes some more measures to cover up identifiable tattoos. Cooper decides to snoop around some more, and he finds a fire alarm that could help him out. So, it turns out that the criminal psychiatrist that's consulting with the police is actually on to every trick he's thinking of using because she warns the cops that he's going to do something to create chaos, like setting off a fire alarm. She's one step ahead, but does she know that he's listening in on the conversation? Instead, Cooper causes a cooking oil explosion in one of the food stands, and he finds a way to sneak up to the roof. Once there, he realizes that SWAT is covering the rooftop, and luckily, the checkpoint card that they ask for is already in the apron that he stole. Since the roof isn't an option, Cooper makes his way back into the arena, but Riley finds him in the hallway. She can tell that something's up, but all she really wants is to spend the rest of the concert with him. Riley mentions that she could get picked to go backstage for one of the songs, and Cooper sees this as his chance to make a move. He finds Lady Raven's uncle and manages to create a sob story that gets them chosen for the special moment. I was skeptical about Josh Hartnett playing an unsettling character like Cooper, but he really manages to pull off the awkward creepiness better than most. This character is actually a genius in his own way. Once Riley is done with her segment on stage with Lady Raven, they're allowed to stay backstage to listen to her last song, and Cooper tries to come up with a new plan to get out of the back door when the concert ends. After getting the okay from some of the staff, they head backstage to see some of the performers one more time, but Cooper is discouraged to see they'll still have to go through a police checkpoint once they're done. Cooper decides to speak to Lady Raven on her own, and he tries something very risky. He lets her in on the fact that he's the guy they're searching for, and he tells her that he'll let his victim die if she turns him in. Instead, he wants her to drive them out of there in her own personal limo, and Lady Raven decides to play along. Definitely a risky move, but considering the fact that he hasn't gone by his real name this whole time, it might actually work because she won't be able to give a name afterwards. But they can run facial recognition on all of the cameras, can't they? After the limo manages to get out of the arena garage, Lady Raven decides to make a change, and she decides to drop Cooper and Riley off at their house personally. Once at the house, Riley's mother, Rachel, invites her inside, and Cooper warns her not to say anything in front of his family. She decides to talk about how her concert was different because of the manhunt, and she buys some more time by singing a song for them. This is definitely Cooper's worst day ever. He managed to outsmart the criminal profiler who was an expert on his every move, but he's about to be outsmarted by this teeny bop pop star. Lady Raven manages to grab Cooper's cell phone to take a selfie with Riley, and she takes it with her to the bathroom where she talks to Cooper's victim. Meanwhile, Cooper is about to go bang the door down, and his family is trying to calm him down. Lady Raven decides to go on her own live stream to ask people to look for landmarks that the victim mentioned. After one of her followers thinks that they live near the house where he's being held, Lady Raven decides to tell Rachel that Cooper is the butcher. Yes, let's put the whole family in danger. She was doing really good up until there. I don't think letting Rachel know Cooper's true identity is really going to help anyone here. Eventually, Cooper finds the key to the bathroom, and he finds out that she managed to save the guy in the basement. After realizing that he's running out of options, Cooper decides to kidnap Lady Raven in Rachel's car, but Raven decides to use his childhood trauma against him like the profiler told her. Raven pretends to be Cooper's mother, and he reveals that he has to end his own story to beat the monster inside. Cooper opens the garage door to find his family standing in the driveway, and Raven sneaks out of the car to take them to her limo. Cooper says his final goodbyes to them before closing the garage door, and just then, the police arrive. I didn't know this guy was going to be trapped in two places in the same movie. That would be pretty on par for an M. Night Shyamalan twist, though. Just then, an officer takes over driving Raven's limo, and the police find a secret tunnel in Cooper's house that shows he's not there anymore. Surprise! The SWAT officer that takes Raven's limo is Cooper, and he handcuffs her to the rail. She manages to break free of the rail to escape the limo, and soon, the police arrive again. The police find out that he's given them the slip yet again as he put on fan merchandise he found in the limo, and Raven goes to check on the victim she helped save. Back at Rachel's house, she speaks with the profiler who tells her that no one outside of Cooper's mother would have seen any warning signs, and she mentions that the two cruisers will be set up outside all night in case he comes back. He's been juking the cops all day! I don't think two cruisers are really going to stop him if he wanted to go back home. At least the kids are at her sister's house. And sure enough, Cooper is in the house. Cooper mentions that someone had to have tipped the cops off, and Rachel admits that she pieced things together enough to tip off the police about the concert. While Rachel is explaining things, Cooper takes off his shirt and grabs the knife on the table. Rachel convinces him to sit down and eat a piece of cake before killing her as a way to celebrate Riley, but while they eat the pie, Cooper admits that he has a new sense of rage toward Rachel for ruining their lives. After finishing the pie, Cooper starts to feel funny, and he notices the powder on the plate. Rachel admits to finding his special bag when the police were chasing him, and he tries to stumble around enough to get her. Instead, he starts hallucinating his own mother as the powder takes effect, and soon, two cops are trying to subdue him in the living room. He manages to take out one of them, but then the profiler arrives and puts him down. For a second, I really thought that he might have gotten away with it. Probably around the time that he tried to use Raven to get out of the arena, but a bunch of panicked solutions really led to his downfall in the end. As Cooper is being walked to the transport vehicle, Riley is dropped off by a unit and she runs over to hug Cooper one last time. After the transport leaves, we can see that Cooper managed to sneak away with one of the spokes from Riley's bike, and he ends up taking the handcuffs off while in the transport. He starts to chuckle, and then the credits roll. During a mid-credit scene, we see the merch stand worker watching the news, and he can't believe that he was that close to the butcher. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this one. Comment what you think I should watch next, and I'll see you in the next video.